Have you ever run into such
Hey, are you the SuperPy library developer?
Oh yeah, I think so, yes.
Yeah, listen, I created an issue a few weeks ago, and I'm just wondering if you had time to look at it.
Yeah, right. So I'm not exactly working on that project anymore. So I didn't.
Because there is a multi-million-dollar project in our company that depends on that library, so maybe you could take a look there.
Sorry, listen, I needed something from my previous project in my new project, so I just externalized part of the code, created library, and people started using it. It was few years ago. I honestly don't care anymore. So no, I don't care.
Okay.
Have you ever run into such situation? Open source developers are the best thing that happened to the modern software engineering. They create stuff free of charge and you can use it, but you need to remember they are volunteers. That means they can give up on the project wherever they want and nobody can force them to do the opposite. There are pros and cons, but how to verify if a third-party library is a good fit for your project? It's not easy, but I'm going to show you how I do that, and I prepared 11 simple steps to verify your library. Some of the first steps are the fastest. You can apply them in a matter of seconds. So the first step, the base step, write down your requirements. What do you exactly need? Are you going to sell the project once it's finished? If you're doing a multi-million-dollar project, you need to be sure about the license, the code quality, find out what you really need. Okay, so let's say you and your team decided that you want to implement some REST API in Python. So we just type into Google Python web framework and we found Django, right? Django source code is hosted on GitHub, so let's just go straight there, Django GitHub, like this. And now, step 2, look at GitHub counters, especially star and watch, and if it's like 60, it's maybe not so much popular project, but we have 50,000 stars here, so I believe that project is popular. So that's fine. Step 3. Look when was the last commit. It's here. 3 days ago. It's really not bad. If it's like few weeks or few days, that's really good. It means that project it's being updated constantly. Step number 4. Go to README and look for information about abandonment or some information saying, okay, that was a really nice project, but we are not maintaining it anymore, so don't use it. I don't see anything here, but information can be hidden or the developer didn't admit that he left the library.
Hey, it's me again. So me and my team prepared a pull request. Maybe you could take a look now.
Oh wow, I didn't expect that. So let me just quickly, wait, you said you need that for your multi-million-dollar project that you're going to sell. Did you know the library is under GPL license?
So the SuperPy library is under GPL, right?
You knew that, right? Step 5, check the license. The license is usually described in README or is a separate file which is called license. What do you want to know about the license? Check if the library can be used in commercial projects. If you want to sell the program and do not ever share the source code, you need to avoid licenses like GPL. It's so-called copyleft license. It means that your project needs to be distributed under the same license, which means it must be open source. You don't want to open the source for the code that you already sold. It's insane. So if you're creating multi-million-dollar project for your client, you probably want to have MIT license, which is really open source license, which means that you can do whatever you want with the project. The licenses, it's a much bigger topic. It deserves a separate video. So if you want a video about licenses, let me know in the comments. Step 6. We're going a little bit deeper right now. we're going to find out in the README or documentation if the third-party library actually fulfills your requirements. Why now? Why so late? The previous steps that I mentioned are pretty simple. You can do that in the first glance when you go to the GitHub repository, and we can do that in a matter of seconds. So right now, I think it's the best moment to actually check if the library it's a good fit for your project, if actually it has functionality that you really need. So you need to do that on your own. You need to read the documentation, the README file. Step 7, check dependencies. In case of Python projects, it's usually requirements txt. Let's maybe change the project to some other one. I was recently looking for RSS feed generator. This one. Again, we can repeat the steps again. So stars, it's 438, it's not bad. The last commit was on January 28th. Looks like this library is not maintained. There is no information about abandonment, so let's check the license. The license is LGPL. So if you're not making multi-million-dollar project for your company or for your client, it can be GPL if that's just for you, for fun, for example. And let's check the requirements. And it's not much, it's really good. Why do we need to check the dependencies? Because if the project is abandoned, but you want to use it anyway, you will need to deal with the dependencies. But in this case, it's only two, and it's LXML and Python dateutil, which are pretty popular. Step 8, find out who is the main developer. His name is usually here, so you know that's the guy responsible for merging pull requests. Just remember that guy for later. We need to remember this guy. Step 9, go to pull requests. Check how many of them are there. We have only 2, but what's more important in that case, you can see that they were submitted on March 9 and today we have 11th of June. So it's pretty old pull request. That's not good. That could mean that the developer has abandoned the project and he didn't admit that. So let's find out here. Lars Kiesov didn't respond to the pull request. I don't know what it means, but probably it means the project is abandoned. Step 10, we're going closer to the end. Go to issues. Check how many of them are here. It's not so bad. Check when they were submitted. Go to every one of them and check if the main developer is responding for the issues. Another important thing about issues. Check if there is any issue with the core functionality that you need in your project. Because if there is an issue and it's not fixed, then probably the library won't fix your problem. It won't be useful at all for you. Also check the closed issues. Just check how the owner responded to issues, if he's nice and if he's able to help people with their problems. Step 11, check how hard it is to contribute to the project. We actually have done it partially because we checked the pull request and issues and we just checked how the owner of the repository is responding to problems. So if he's nice and he's willing to merge pull requests that you prepare, that's okay. In any case, you can fork the project and do the fixes on your own repository, but of course it requires some work, and this is not why we're looking for the library, right? A library should fix your problem. If this library is not fixing your problem, maybe look for other one which does the same. Fine, so all 11 steps are behind us. Let's check some examples. Let's, for example, find a library for push notifications, which is Django push notifications. GitHub. So I used that library in the past. Let's check how are they doing. The first step, 1600 stars. That's pretty good. That means the project is popular. The last commit was 10 days ago, which is great. The last commit to the main directory was 3 months ago. It's not bad. It means it's probably maintained. Okay, so we're looking at some abandonment information. There is no, it's usually at the top. I couldn't find any, so that's great. Check the license. The license is, permission is hereby granted free of charge to any person obtaining a copy of the software with associated documents, files, and so on, so on. Great. Let's check another package that I used in the past, which is Django REST Swagger. GitHub repository, and 2,500 stars. It's awesome. That means the project is popular. The last commit was at least 1 year ago. That's too much. And let's find out what happened. Oh, deprecated. Django REST Swagger deprecated. This project is no longer being maintained. Please consider DRF Yasug. Yet another Swagger, probably. Django REST Swagger owner is honest. He's saying that he's no longer maintaining the project and he doesn't care about it. Fine. He's also really nice because he pointed you to another project which should be used instead. Awesome. Maybe let's switch to some other language, which will be JS, which library is called Vue Custom Element. GitHub, please. So this library lets you bundle Vue.js and embed it into other site as a HTML custom element. It's really cool. I use it. It has a lot of stars. That's enough. The last commit was on March 31st. And there is no abandonment message, or I'm not working on that anymore. Looks good. But if we go deeper, if we go to issues, check the closed ones. And we find issue number 94. Carol said about library. Currently it's quite stable and it's in maintenance mode. It's a hidden information. You cannot find that information in README file. So actually I didn't find that one. I wrote an email to the owner and he responded me with the link to that issue. So basically project will be maintained. That means all the fixes will be there, but not all the new features will be supported. So it's worth to know. So I guess that's it. I prepared 11 simple steps, which are not probably that simple. So once again, you need to find out what you really need. Write down your requirements, then check the stars, check when was the last commit, check the license, read the README file and looking for the information about the abandonment of the project. Also check the issues, pull requests, and then find out if you take the risk. It's really different if you have multi-million-dollar project and you have just simple project for fun. Thank you.